My face is so red. Anything to say to YouTube, Dad?
What?
Got anything to say to YouTube? You suck!
Thank you.
You're welcome. Look how long my hair is. Anyways, welcome to week 2 of the summer diaries. This week definitely wasn't as eventful as the last week, although some stuff happened. But basically it starts off with my brother's birthday on May 2nd, not May 3rd, sorry Ethan. He turned 16. Happy birthday, Ethan! Here's your birthday present. I want to see you react to it. Please don't hate it. It's the back, Ethan.
That's amazing.
Do you like it? Okay, later that night we went to a sushi restaurant called Hatsuhana, which we've been going to for years, and so here's some footage from that.
Okay, I'll get a salmon Cheerio. Is it my turn?
So one's from Papa here.
Meatball.
Meatball, collarbone.
Oh wait, then we have popcorn.
It's a diamond. It's a car keys.
Shut your mouth. That's not gonna happen.
Buds. Buds. Nice. Ooh. Dang. Thank you, Mom.
Honey.
My mom took my AirPods. Start. Happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ethan.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Woo!
Bring your card.
So the next day was May 4. May the 4th be with you. I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I know that much. And I met some family and some family friends, I think, yeah, at Epcot after work, and we just walked around and didn't do much.
So she said we can get here when we're traveling by ourselves.
Okay, if you don't know what this ride is, it is Spaceship Earth, which is located in like the big ball thing, which is like the centerpiece of Epcot, and it's a ride where you learn about like the history and where it brings us to the present with technology, and then it has this little screen game thingy where you can choose your future. And you can see mine and my awful picture. Ethan, does it hurt?
It's like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not
It
gonna
hurts.
cry.
Mom, it hurts so bad when she braids my hair. She's so rough. Like, okay, so this is where it actually gets interesting, but I don't have footage of it because my phone was, what's the word? My phone was not able to be used at this moment in the video where there should have been stuff. So basically in Epcot, in the land, there is this ride called Living with the Land, and it's probably one of the most boring rides in all of Disney. But my mom loves it and we go on it all the time. It's just a boat ride where it takes you through a couple of animatronic areas and then into an outdoor place with tanks of fish that they use for the restaurants and all the plants and herbs and whatever that they grow, and it's all about sustainable living and yada yada yada. So I've been on it a million times, and this time because I've started this whole vlogging crap, I'm like, you know what, let me do like a nice little time-lapse video going through. It's a bad idea. So I pull out my phone to start the time lapse, and I'm about to press start. My phone is falling out of my hands. In my head, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna catch it. It's not gonna land in the water. No, no, it landed in the water. I immediately go and try to like scoop it up, and I don't get it. And the kid behind me that was with us, he went and tried and scooped it up, and he didn't. And my phone was sitting there in the water on the side right next to the track underwater in this stupid ride. And I was just like, okay, you know, that's fine, life happens. And you know what my first thought was? My first thought was, my vlogs. Isn't that pathetic? Anyways, everyone's kind of in shock at this point. My mom is looking at me, making sure I'm not crying, which I never cried, but I didn't cry. And we get off the ride, and I'm like, it's fine, it's chill, it's gonna be fine. And we get off the ride, and we go to the people, and we're like, okay, listen, we dropped our phone, we know exactly where it is, it's really easy to get, how can we get this? And they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't stop the ride. They wouldn't go and grab it. They wouldn't do anything, which I understand. I'm sure if I worked there, I would follow the rules too. I would tell a customer the exact same thing, and they said, we can get it at 7. Well, by 7, my phone would have been completely dead. And so my mom had on her whole mama bear thing, and she was like, hi, how you doing? How you gonna help us? And I just walked away. And then, and so they weren't gonna do anything, right? It was probably around 6:25, 6:30ish by the time they were like, okay, they're not helping us. So then my stepdad and his friend get back on the ride, and they try and go get it, and we held a lot of hope into this, and they missed. They didn't sit in like the far back row or whatever, and they missed, freaking the people out behind us, right? And they came back, and we were like, what do you mean you didn't get it? So it was a little closer to 7 at this point. We said goodbye to their friends. We said goodbye to the friends because they had to go to dinner. And you know what? Me and my stepdad were like, all right, let's go on it one more time. So we go on, we make sure we're in the back row. We sit where we're not supposed to, we're in the back row. And it's coming up, and he basically lurches half of his body over the side of the boat and grabs the phone and gets it. And we flipped out. The people behind us were like, what the heck is happening? And I could have cried in that moment, because we got the phone, and I got it, and it was on. It was working. And I recently upgraded to the iPhone XR, and luckily it's waterproof up to like 30, not water resistant, up to like 30 minutes or something, and 1 meter. And we were pushing past 30 minutes for sure. And we got it, and it was working, and so I took it out of its case, I did everything was working fine. And then later on, when we were trying to go somewhere for dinner, I was trying to call my mom, and it sounded like she was underwater on my phone. But later that night, I put it in rice, took the SIM card out, left it there for like 24-ish hours, and it's been fine ever since. And I got really, really lucky, because if we had waited past 7 when they said they would help us, we would have probably gotten it at like 7:15, 7:30, and my phone would have been dead. I am 100% certain that if we had waited, it would have died, and it just wouldn't have been good. So that was the most interesting thing that happened this week. I almost lost a brand new phone. It's okay right now. It hasn't done anything weird. It's done a little bit of weird things, but I kind of just chalk it up to it being Apple anyways. So I haven't quite blamed it on that yet, because I'm afraid to, because I don't want to get a new phone. But all my videos were saved, and everything was fine. And I got really, really, really lucky.
I got it!
So the next night after the phone fiasco, we went to dinner with my stepdad's friends and fam. We went to dinner with the people that we went to with Epcot, and these are the little kids that we hung out with, and the littlest one, the one with the backwards hat, actually has a YouTube channel, which I'm going to put a link down below because it's adorable, and you should check it out.
Dude, My arms are too long.
Ow, ow, ow. Ow.
Squirt. Squirt.
Ow, 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 ow.
Hey, why are you whining?
So yet again, I have ended up at Epcot, which by now is very obviously my favorite Disney park. And today it was much more chill. I did not lose my phone. I did not pull out my phone in any ride. Well, in one ride. And I went with my aunt, but first we went and got breakfast at First Watch and then made our way to Epcot. So one of the oldest things at Epcot is actually right in the front. They have these huge statue block thingies, all with little pictures that look like they've been stamped into metal. And they were pictures that you could take years, probably a decade or so ago. And they would take your picture and they would put it into this little like metal rendering and they would stick it on these statues. And they always talk about taking them down, but they never have. And my aunt and her sibling actually got one done before, so we went and tracked that down.
Oh my goodness, wait, keep pointing at it. Where's your finger?
Oh, how cute! There's Tita!
Here I am, not older. Boy, how much older? That was when you were born.
Oh my god, I'm 20.
Oh,
20 years ago. Haven't aged today.
There's a part in,
Got ears! Little grape soda! So we were there during the during the Flower and Garden Festival at Epcot. So these were some of the topiary creation thingamajigs. So the rest of the day we just kind of hung out and chilled and rode a few rides. Rode? Right? That makes sense. And we got these orange slushy things and the cutest little birdie cups, which you'll see, it's adorable.
I'll be out in a minute. Oh, and with every purchase, free lutefisk.
It's terrifying, hold on. So bright outside. Okay, Tita.
not worth
It was not worth the wait. We just went on the Frozen ride, which used to be the Norway ride with the Vikings.
Yeah, it was
And
long wait.
we waited like over an hour. It was really boring. And now we know why we don't ride this ride. But it was cute-ish. Olaf was terrifying. Oh my gosh. Look at our birdies. Thank you. It's a thick smoothie.
Oh my god. You're so
They're so cute. I got that on video.
Okay, that can,
What'd you say, Tita?
that cannot go in your vlog.
Oh, thank you so much for watching this video. It definitely wasn't as entertaining as last week's. I mean, maybe the phone thing, I didn't get injured this week, so that's positive. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Watch out. Oh god, I'm a mess. Watch out for next week's video. I'm really ready for Game of Thrones. Really ready.